do a live stream, but I'm gonna do a new setup because I'm trying to do a duo stream nowadays. I'm going for a duo stream, so we're gonna see how this goes. Uh, let's see. We're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna be doing a drawing live stream here in just a moment. If only they would allow me to add a thumbnail. Ah, here we go. Let's go. Oh, we can actually do horizontal. I don't need to worry about it as much here. We're gonna do save. Let's actually set this camera up like this. Let's go a little bit. Do a little bit of a new setup here, so bear with me as we, start to work out some of the changes, the updates. Auto rotate. I don't want auto rotate, do I? Let's see. Drawing materials. Drawing materials. Horizontal phone camera, promo code, share link, upload brand logo. Let's upload an image here and just show all of our supplies right here. And actually, I want to bring this up just a little bit. Load a thumbnail image. Let's see, camera. There we go. There's our camera. All right. We're going to upload this. Let's see. Add thumbnail live stream. There we go. Perfect. The one thing about live streaming is, let's see, Table Easel. 5-position wooden drawing easel. Is that it? I think that's what I own. Yep. Add to stream. rOtring 600. rOtring 600. Add to stream. STAEDTLER. What pen is this? STAEDTLER Mars Technico. Oh wow, you get like 10 of them. Okay. Pencil set. What's going on? Ian Dooley. Yeah, you like my drawings. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I'm getting set up here on a different stream. I'm going to do a couple of these, so bear with me for a few moments here. Let's do this one. And then we're going to add drawings of Vincent van Gogh. By the way, for the record, what you'll see in this live stream is sometimes I just copy other drawings. So many of my drawings are just me just copying because that's how I learn. I learn by copying. The drawings of Vincent van Gogh. Christopher Lloyd. Lloyd drawings. The Drawings of Vincent. Oh wow, they don't even have this book on Amazon anymore. Wow. Drawings of Vincent van Gogh. Is this book here anymore? Christopher Lloyd? No more? Oh, I can't offer that here. All right, well, anyway, you might just have to find it elsewhere. Drawings of Vincent van Gogh. Yo, Scully, what's going on? Scully, Scully. Scully the Molly. Scully, Molly, Molly. All right, well, I can't add that book here, so we're just going to add STAEDTLER eraser. What is this? We're going to go with the General's pencil holder. We're going to add General's pencil holder. Oh, that doesn't work either. What kind of sketchbook is this? I don't even know. We're going to go with a Strathmore Sketch. Strathmore Sketch. Strathmore. Getting set up here. But, yo, Scully, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing great. Nice little shout out to Scully for being one of the first people in a room with Dooley. But here we go. We're going to go. This is what I do when I get stuck with artwork. Let's preview this while using the app. Let's see. Gotta set this up right now. Why does it do this? Why is it doing this? How do I rotate this screen? Full screen, lock screen, show rotate button off, on. Oh man, I'm trying to figure out how to rotate this dang screen, but let's see. I gotta redo this whole thing. Rotate your phone. Here we go. Why? Why do you want to do this to me? It's only letting me do it in one direction. What is this? Come on. Why do you only let me do one direction? All right. Getting some technical issues right now. I have to switch this whole thing to the other side. Do it from there. I'm gonna go like this. This is what happens when you start streaming though, people, is you really have to like get the technical stuff sometimes. That can be kind of annoying. Let's see, I want this to be like that, and that's good, perfect, wonderful. But once you get it, you know, it's great. Once you get it, you're good. Once you get it, you're good. You're gold. That's the idea, at least. All right, so let's get this set up right here. Oh, okay. Good catch, Emmett. You caught it. So yes, this is going to look a little ridiculous to some people that I have this set up, but we're going to make it work. We're making it work. All right. See tag products below to highlight deals may change or run in the future. While live metrics can be used to adjust content, please refer to push stream. Do not direct the way. Good. I get all the rules. Perfect. Wonderful. Getting started. All right, and here we are, people. We are live on Amazon. And some of the things that I'm doing, this is going to be pretty straightforward. I pretty much, when I feel stuck in as far as art goes, you know, when I sometimes feel stuck, I basically just copy drawings from my favorite artists. And that helps me get unstuck. So that's what I'm going to do for today's live stream, is pretty much just copy Vincent van Gogh, Vincent van Gogh, Vincent van Gogh, as the Brits call him, Vincent van Gogh, as the Dutch call him, Vincent van Gogh, as us Americans call him. But basically that's the goal today, is I'm just going to copy his drawings. So we're going to go here and do maybe an hour of this. But as we go through this, let's see, we're going to see what figures. We have these figures. I've done these sketches. I've done that sketch, that copy. Done that copy. I haven't done this. Well, I think I have done that woman. Let's see, what copies have I not done yet? All right, so this looks like an interesting one. So we're just going to copy this, and I'm just going to use a pencil here. This is a rOtring 600 pencil or pen. In a previous drawing, so I like to switch between pencil and pen. It all depends, right? I've got rOtring 600, Mars Technico. I like to draw with pen a lot because I love the feel of like how ballpoint works. I just love the feel of ballpoint pens. It's hard to beat, and you know, there's just nothing that compares with the feeling of a good ballpoint pen. So pretty much, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this stream, usually what I do for certain days when I just feel stuck, I just copy drawings from artists that I like. And you know what? Here's the truth. I don't feel like stuck. I just feel like I got to do something that gets me out of my head as far as, you know, as far as sketching and drawing goes. So let me actually pull out this pencil. By the way, this pencil you can actually sharpen by itself. This is a great pencil. What's up, Lucky Draw? So this is a STAEDTLER Mars Technico. And what's great about it is that it's a mechanical pencil. I don't know if the term is mechanical, but basically it comes with its own sharpener, which is great. There is information, but it's a fantastic pencil because it's heavy duty and comes with a sharpener attached. So here's a quick little demo. You just basically pull off the back end of this, make sure that you don't have any loose lead in there, of course, and then watch this. Look how flat that is, right? That's a flat tip. This tip has been flattened. For whatever reason, I think it fell, or it might be from the wrong end. Doesn't really matter, but let's go ahead and sharpen this. By the way, you want to make sure that the hole that you're going to sharpen in is facing up, because otherwise you're going to get all of the lead all up in your stuff. I guess it's graphite, not lead, but we'll see here. Totally, a moment ago, is totally flat. Actually, I don't feel like doing this drawing, but this specific drawing, I don't know, because there's color. I don't like to try to draw things with color. And look at this. Look how sharp it's gotten. Just like that, right? Just like that. Now, I do want to say that all the lead does stick into here. So you are going to want to find a place to dump it out. So I usually just dump it out of my pencil sharpener. I don't like have a garbage can nearby, so I just let it, just dump it out in my pencil sharpener. Makes sense, right? But you can see all the lead just coming off. And there you have it. So all the lead came off, and now I'm just gonna just like sketch and copy whatever I see. Um, and Vincent van Gogh, Van Gogh used to draw lots and lots of landscapes. So that's one thing when you're trying to copy him, is just be prepared for a lot of work. Be prepared for lots of, not even detail. Well, you know what? Lots of detail, but like not specific detail, right? It's not like detail that you get lost in, but it's detail that you just look at and you're like, wow, just look at all the marks that he made. You're just fascinated by his mark. I mean, I'm fascinated by his mark making. I don't necessarily know about anybody else, but you know, one thing that you can really learn from Vincent van Gogh is how he made figures and how he made things look really interesting. And you know, I think it's good to know, like, you know, that when you're drawing, you don't always have to like make everything look exactly like what you're seeing. That, you know, you don't have to put that pressure on yourself. And I'm saying this based on the idea that you can always, you know, judge yourself. If you're gonna judge yourself, you don't have to judge yourself, but if you are gonna judge or evaluate yourself, base it compared to how you feel to, you know, drawings that you find from some of your favorite artists, right? If they're not too detailed, at least for their sketches, then you know you probably don't have to worry about. I'm probably not going to do this whole copy. I really just want to get some of the figures here and just see how he, you know, built up some of his shapes and his figures. This one's not the most conducive drawing because it's all these figures that are really loose. And then I just love this pencil because, you know, it's mechanical and it lasts a very long time and it's really heavy duty. So if you're out and about drawing and it like falls or whatever, you don't really have to worry about too much. It's a very heavy duty pencil. You can make a lot of mistakes and drop it and all that. So I am, in a sense, trying to copy a lot of Vincent's lines. So, you know, he did a lot of lines, and they weren't always the prettiest lines. They weren't always the most perfect, but he sure knew how to eventually build a scene. So, you know, of course, you just take what you will from a drawing and then figure that out. But these are all stuff that I've, you know, if I have to credit any company to help me with easily becoming an artist, I think of Amazon for sure. Amazon 100%. Like, I love going to an art store. It's great to go to an art store. What's up, Lucky Draw? So it's great to go to an art store, but it's a whole totally different thing to have art supplies delivered straight to your door the same day. That is absolutely just fascinating to me. It's like teleportation. I swear, Amazon is just like one step away, 1 century, maybe even a millennia away from teleportation, because the fact that I could get my supplies here, like, who needs teleportation when, you know, you can get any Amazon supply delivered to your door on the same day? You don't really need teleportation. You don't need 3D printing. You know what? I'm gonna say something a little bit controversial and maybe argumentative, but I'm gonna say, if anything ruins the chances of 3D printing coming about, at least right now, it's probably Amazon, because Amazon is so efficient that you really don't need to 3D print anything. Now, I will say that 3D printing, you know, there's a trend for really custom things. So, you know, I think 3D printing will have its space when it comes to doing custom art. Like, I saw this great business person. What he does is he does action figures of people. So he takes like a photo of a person, turns it into a 3D model, and then does the 3D printout of that person. So I feel like, you know, that's going to be very good. But as far as like 3D printing toys that could be bought from Amazon or a store, I mean, I don't think that's going to be too necessary, right? Because Amazon's got 1 day shipping. I don't need a I don't need a 3D printer to, you know, make me a toy that I can get. And it could be anything. It could be a toy, a model train. I don't know. I just used the word toy because I was just top of mind. This guy was making these action figures that I was looking at. Really amazing idea. And, you know, for me, I was just thinking of that top of mind. But here we go. This is an interesting little gap here because, you know, I've really exaggerated the space here. But one thing I really love about copying Vincent van Gog's drawings is just seeing how he makes marks. Like, you know, his marks are really, really interesting because I think what they do is they do a great job of carrying over into painting. If you want to do very like expressive painting and you want to make marks on your painting and you want to create an interesting painting, you know, Vincent van Gogh holds some of the secrets. Not because he's the greatest craftsperson, but because he's just so bold with his mark making, in my opinion. I mean, of course, you know, people do recognize him as a great crafts, what are they called, draftsperson. You know, he is credited with that, but I think he's just brilliant at making marks, and he just makes these wonderful, wonderful marks that make a drawing or a painting so interesting, and I think it's great to learn from. So I don't feel like I'm learning too much from this drawing because if you're gonna draw a cityscape, you know, it helps to really be in that cityscape. You know, drawing outdoors while you're out and about, right? Copying someone else's city drawing doesn't really help you become a better person, better at drawing cities because, you know, you're only drawing what they see rather than learning how to draw what you see. But where I do really get benefit from copying someone else's drawings as far as a city scene, you know, I really like the idea of just seeing how they make their marks. And that could be really important. That could be very helpful. Just knowing what type of marks someone makes as far as being an artist goes. But of course, everybody's got their own ways of doing things, their own opinions. You know, what they look at, what they see. There's no depending on your teacher, there may or may not be a right way or a wrong way to do things. I personally think there are some, you know, some ways that are better than others, depending on the goal, right? And then some ways that just are not that important. But the thing about drawing when you're outdoors is it becomes such a different activity versus when you're copying because there are people moving around and what's going on? Michael Wilbur, sketching aid. Yes, yeah. Rather than copying, I call it sketching aid. Smithers, what's going on? Good evening. We've got a live stream, multi-stream going on. So let me see some of these figures. You know, I'm not going to spend. Oh yeah, he got this guy that was climbing up a ladder, posting something on a lamp. But I don't want to spend too much time on this drawing because I don't like drawing buildings. Can I please Smithers from The Simpsons? Oof. You know, I'd love to draw Smithers from The Simpsons, but let me ask you a question. Why do you want me to draw Smithers from The Simpsons? That's my question to you. Because you can go anywhere and look up Smithers from The Simpsons. So why do you want me to draw Smithers from The Simpsons? That's my question here. Let me see. Let me find a drawing that I would actually like to do that I feel like I could learn some stuff from. My goodness. No, I'm just gonna fill the space with a variety of pieces. I'm being wishy-washy tonight. I'm like, should I keep following this drawing? Because I don't like drawing buildings. But you know, I've already committed to doing this, and I'm like, maybe I should just stick it through. So that's what's going on in my head right now. I'm oversharing a little bit, right? Nobody needs to know all my deepest, darkest thoughts about art and what my intentions are and all that. But I do share. So if you're watching from my Amazon, these are some of my early Amazon streams. But if you followed me on YouTube, I'm gonna keep pretty much the same format. Although I'm gonna, you know, there's certain things I might have to limit because Amazon doesn't like it when you know, redirect people. So I'm gonna figure something out. So my streams are gonna change a little bit, but not too much. Um, just enough to be able to work well with Amazon. But what I'm working with right now, this pencil here, is a Staedtler Mars Technico, which is a wonderful pencil for anything. Anytime you need a pencil, it's absolutely fantastic because you can sharpen it. It's all everything you want in pencil in one. So, is your favorite Simpsons character? Let's see. Canvas is your signature. Best mark on your canvas is your signature. What's up, Koopa? Can I draw Koopa? Ooh, Koopa. So many people want me to draw them right now. So many people. I'd love to draw you one day, and I do have some commissions open. So if you would like to commission me, you can feel free to, you know, send a super chat at minimum on YouTube. Sometimes I do admit, sometimes occasionally if I'm in like a really good mood, I'm in a good mood right now. But sometimes I'm in a mood and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll draw anything for anybody. But then sometimes, you know, I just feel like I should, for the benefit of all artists on the entire planet, I shouldn't just freely draw whatever anyone asks. So if you happen to catch me on like Reddit, I do sometimes do like free draw me's and stuff. But you know, I don't think that anybody who just draws stuff for people for free, you're not doing anything for yourself, and you're not doing anything good for the other artists, right? Like there are artists out there that do the work, right? They get paid for it, and you know, being an artist that does stuff for free doesn't help anybody. So, yeah. All right. Well, Smithers, welcome. We welcome you back. You gotta know. You just gotta know, like. So, Koopa, definitely in this conversation here, I just want to say this, like, you know, you understand, right? I hope you get it. If you wanna make a donation, I will stop this live stream and draw Koopa. You can make a. I'm not even specifying how much. Like sometimes you just gotta give a little, you know. For all the artists out there, to support all the artists out there. I probably should put the amounts that I want in the live stream, but I figure a cartoon is probably fairly easy to draw. I'm assuming Koopa is the Koopa from Super Mario World. But yes, I'm open for your commissions. That is for sure. But hey, at least give you a shout out for free, right? Free shout outs for everybody. Free shout outs. Limited time only. Free shout outs for everybody that drops by my YouTube. All right, here we go. You know what? I know a YouTuber who he does pretty well, and he doesn't even like address you unless you give him at least $3. Like you're not you like don't exist to him if you don't give any money. So if you're feeling bad about that, about me not doing a drawing for you. All I can say is thank you for at least stopping by. Really appreciate it. And I hope you'll stop by again. Best artist on YouTube is Emmett Ferguson, according to Michael Wilbur. Yes, thank you. Best artist on YouTube. All right. I'm getting bored of these buildings. Why would anybody like draw buildings? Like there almost is like no point to drawing a building. Like obviously back in like 1850, before photos existed, before like AutoCAD and all those things existed, you know, I get drawing buildings was a thing, but why would anybody like I just cannot understand why anybody would want to draw a building. I'm saying that kind of a little bit jokingly. Obviously, architects need to draw buildings. You know, people need to know what buildings look like, especially back then. You know, you had to draw pictures of those buildings and stuff. Why would anyone want to draw buildings? Here we go. For the benefit of all artists. Remember to like and subscribe. What is it that I'm drawing? Oh yeah, here we go. Here's a copy. Let me show all of you. You can't really see it from back there. I'm just copying a drawing by Vincent van Gogh. So it's of a building from 1887, Boulevard de Clichy. De Clichy. Boulevard de Clichy. I believe that is a boulevard somewhere in France or Europe. Clichy sounds like a French boulevard. All right. I'm done with this. So before cameras, art was considered a job, not a hobby. Was it considered a job? Only if you were working at it, right? It wasn't actually considered a job if you weren't an artist. I mean, if you weren't like... I mean, being an artist still is a job. I think today it's just like, just as a career, you know, it does come with a lot of like, a lot of things that you have to deal with that are more challenging that most people just simply don't know how to deal with, which is, you know, business, marketing, sales, self-promotion, all these things. That, you know, people just are not trained to do nowadays, especially if you're, you know, going to school for art or whatever. You just don't learn these things. So let's keep going. Let's draw some of Van Gogh's trees. I'm going to draw some of Van Gogh's trees just for fun. Let's do some sketches of his trees. I just want to draw his figures. Trees and figures. So let's use a pen now. And you know what I think is wild? Just like seeing all the marks that he makes. All of these marks are just so fascinating. He was relentless at making marks. Like, there are way more marks than you could ever possibly need in this sketch. That is pure obsession right there. Pure, unadulterated obsession with making marks. Y'all probably can't see this, but look at, if you look closely, look at all the marks that are made on this canvas. It's It's wild. It's the marquetting. Yeah, marquetting. So let me see. This is our new page for this. I'm just going to separate it in top and bottom half. And we're just going to do some mark making. So we're going to do 2 separate drawings here. Just go straight across. And then this is going to split a little bit a little bit less than halfway. And maybe we'll do it with a pencil. Or a pen, I should say. So we're going to go, let's see. As if anything, if I admire anything about Vincent van Gogh, it's his obsession with making marks. I just like look at this and I'm like, who needs to make this many dang marks on a canvas? Why would anybody feel compelled to make this many marks? There's so many marks, it's unnecessary to get the idea. But of course, he was one of the greatest artists of all time, and he had, the things that he was dealing with. Such a talented person, but at the same time, it's like personality-wise, you could learn so much about an artist's personality through their artwork, right? Like how much of a perfectionist they are, how sturdy their hands are, how obsessive they are with marks and perfection. All these things you can learn from artists when you look at their drawings and their paintings. Did they care? Did they not care? I mean, we like to think that all artists care, right? They all care a lot about how their art comes off and like being perfect. But honestly, I think a lot of artists don't. For example, let's take Michelangelo. Here's a fun fact I learned about Michelangelo recently. So we all like to think of Michelangelo, right? The painter of the Sistine Chapel, one of the greatest human feats that has ever been accomplished. Painting for the church and the Pope at the time, and just one of the greatest artists who ever lived. Absolute perfectionist draftsman. But if you ever look it up, you'll see that Michelangelo had quite a sense of humor. Him and the Pope at the time did not get along, apparently, according to the lore. And there's a lot of hidden jokes in the Sistine Chapel paintings if you actually look pretty closely, like naked bodies and mooning and butts and things like that. And you might not believe it. You might not believe that that such offensive nudity could be put into the Sistine Chapel, but it was. Michelangelo had quite the sense of humor. He had quite the sense of humor. He did, yes. That's right. Can you believe that? An artist so talented with a sense of humor. I love this idea, like this idea. I like look at a lot of artists, and they're just such perfectionists that I just cannot imagine them having a sense of humor. They're just artists that are so good and like such perfectionists that I just can't imagine them laughing at a joke or even coming up with their own joke. And it's nice and refreshing, in my opinion, to see that Michelangelo had such a great sense of humor. And I think as much of a perfectionist as he was, he allowed that sense of humor to shine through, because he didn't have power over the Pope. The Pope, still had the power and influence, but he had become so successful that the Pope really couldn't do anything to him, because he needed paintings, and church needed paintings, and he was going to give it to them. And who else better to do a painting than Michelangelo? Better explanation than that story if you actually like go look it up, but for now, I'm just gonna go do these sketches. Let me just see how this character's looking here. We're gonna go like this. See, that's not the type of marks that he was making. He's making these wonderful shadows. And here we go. So Boner says, once again, sorry, couldn't stay. No worries, dude. You're working on a new movement, sloppy mark making. A bank is a place that will lend you. Oh wow, so much conversation has happened since I've been here. All right, so Bonator, what's up, dude? Show us the photo. Yes, I showed them. More time back then. Now we try to make more time to do nothing. Turn my pencil sideways. This is a pen. I can't. Balanced diet music, cupcake in each hand. Brilliant. Like it. Thanks, Smithers. Side of the pencil, bigger marks, easier to blend, shows up much more. What time is it? Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8:44 p.m.
8:44 p.m. Yeah, banks lend you money when you can prove that you don't need it. New movement. Once again, have fun with the art. In Montesano, we had a calling fresco similar, a ceiling fresco similar to Sistine Chapel. What was that? Where's Montesano? Is that in Canada? Are you Canadian, Michael? Michael has never revealed to us what state he lives in, as far as I know. Or maybe I've never asked. I don't know. You know what? I like people to keep their privacy. So don't worry about it. You don't have to say it. Don't get too comfortable in this live stream, okay? There are people watching that may not always have the best intentions. So, you know, that's the one thing whenever you decide to get into live streaming that most people don't talk about is you do lose a bit of privacy, you know, and you have to really be conscious of like what info you give or you accidentally give or don't give or whatever, and you know, that's a risk that most people don't really think about, but you should think about it. But you know what, maybe we're gonna move into a world soon where nobody's life is private and everybody's life is out in the open. I mean, we used to have, I don't know how old everyone else is here, but I remember the Yellow Pages. They would have everybody's address and everybody's phone number and last name. You just go through the Yellow Pages in alphabetical order and find pretty much anybody within like a 20-mile radius of you. And you could call them, you can talk to them, you could find pretty much anybody. It was great. It was awesome. You could prank call and you can you know, easily do business. I mean, you have Google Maps, right? But Google Maps is only businesses. It's not you know, it's not like telephone numbers and people's addresses, like specific people of where they live. Now imagine, you know, you had the opportunity to be able to pay to have yourself removed, but who remembers Yellow Pages? What a crazy invention, right? Yellow Pages, they're absolutely insane now, right? Like nobody, all people's info were just on there. People didn't really like worry about stuff. I don't know. What a crazy invention. Who thought that would be a good idea to just have everybody's address just listed? Everybody's address listed in a single book. Everybody within a few miles. I feel like, you know, when did that go away? Alexa, when did the Yellow Pages stop existing?
The Yellow Pages ceased print publication in January 2019. The
Wow.
Yellow Pages was a directory that listed the phone numbers and addresses of businesses and residents. It was published weekly and was available in printed form and on the internet.
Oh, you still could have gotten on. Yeah. Well, that went out of business. I wonder why. I feel like people would love to have all that info on people. All right, again, I'm not going to draw everything, but I will, try to get some things just to get some shapes going on. Have fun with the art. Take care of a state of confusion. What do you mean state of confusion? What's a state of confusion? Omizu says, had time to do less. Yes, that's right. People want time to do less. I want time to make more art. That's what I want time for. I want time to do more drawing, more painting, more sharing of artwork. And as much as I say that, I gotta admit, this afternoon I had some time and I was playing Diablo 4. So, can I really say that I'm living up to what I say I want? I don't know. It is times like that when you do have the time to do so. Although I will admit that part of what I've committed myself to is live streaming, and I've been putting off these live streams for a little bit because I have this new setup that I have to do with Amazon. So I have two streams going on. It's a YouTube stream and a Amazon stream, and trying to figure out this setup because I got this set up for YouTube, right, and I got this set up right here for Amazon, and I've been trying to figure out like a good way to do it because I can't stream all on one phone, so I have to figure it out some other way. But I think I've got it right. This will be the tutorial stream on Amazon with the products in tow, and then we're gonna have a different stream with a different stream for YouTube. Everybody on YouTube gets to see my face. How exciting is that? Who wants to see my face? Who hasn't seen my face enough? Just kidding, people. By the way, fun fact, if you haven't seen my some of my recent YouTube shorts, I just want to say that I have some fun news. I uploaded some clips of me in TV shows such as Lincoln Lawyer and what's the other one? Lincoln Lawyer and the movie Knox Goes Away with Michael Keaton. Did I get to meet Michael Keaton? Yes, I didn't get to meet him. We didn't shake hands, but I did get to see Michael Keaton. I did get to see Batman, the original Batman, and it was awesome. Michael Keaton, great director, great guy. We didn't really have a conversation, but you know what? I'm just going to assume he's a great guy. We didn't really talk. We didn't have a conversation. But based on what I've heard and seen and all that, I'm just going to assume that he's a great dude. Because why not, right? So, yes, I got to meet Michael Keaton briefly. And he came in to set up the camera. Think of the things that cell phones have replaced: watches, calendars, notepads, replace phone booths on every corner. Got a dime and a quarter to make a call. Yeah, right on. Wow, he added so much line work. And you know what? I think some of these are definitely the size of some of these are smaller. Let's see. 15. Yeah, this was originally a 15 by 21 inch drawing. So, of course, a lot of these details are going to be much bigger now that I think of it, which makes sense. Like I'm looking at these these marks right now, and they look so like razor thin marks. But I'm thinking that because of the size of this compared to the original, which is 15 by 21, you know, of course there's going to be some differences. I'm not going to, you know, the marks are going to look a little different size. It's got all these sheep in the background. I mean, Vincent was a guy who could just like go into a field and just draw stuff and be happy and content, just drawing there for hours and hours and hours. And it's interesting because like now I think, oh, you know, I'm gonna go outside. Like I don't want to draw buildings, and then it's really hard to draw trees, by the way, because like you have to be really interested in drawing trees because there's so many leaves and everything that I just see them as big masses. I don't see them as like a fun and interesting thing to draw. But anyway, think of all the things. See my face on the side of a milk carton. You saw my face on the side of a milk carton? What do you mean? What do you mean, Michael? By the way, it is May, which, what does it mean for it to be May? That means that if you have made a New Year's resolution, and if you made a New Year's resolution and you've made it this far, you've basically surpassed 80%, 90% of the entire world, because most people, when they make a New Year's resolution, are done within the first 90 days. But if you can make it past 90 days, you're doing great. So congratulations to everybody who is still stuck into their New Year's resolution. If you haven't, well, I can't really congratulate you, but I can say this: go back to it, get back to it. Whether it be making art, or whether it be exercise or fitness, whatever it is, you can get back to it. There's nothing that should hold you back. Don't let yourself be your only limiter to yourself. Don't hold yourself back. You need yourself. Oh, here's another thing. You want to know why I think I think a lot of people find Vincent van Gogh's drawing so like endearing and interesting is he was obsessed with there's this Dutch Chris Anderson. Alexa, who was the child's book author? Chris Sanderson or something like that.
The child's book author's name is Dave Pelzer. His first book was A Child Called It, which
Alexa, off. No, that's Hans Christian Andersen, I think is his name. Hans Christian Andersen. Yes, that's right. So Vincent van Gogh loved Hans Christian Andersen. I think that's the name of the guy. But Hans Christian Andersen basically wrote like children's horror stories. If you actually know the stories, right? Like all the stories that Disney has taken over and has turned into these little fairy tales, like they actually used to be like Hansel and Gretel was like a horror story about kids getting caught by a witch and like cooked, right? So Hans Christian Andersen, if I'm talking about the right correct writer here, was not a definitely made some scary stories, but Vincent loved those stories, and I think that's what influenced a lot of his style as far as drawing is concerned, is cartoons, like a cute cartoon style. Those were the Brothers Grimm. Oh, the Brothers Grimm wrote those stories? Okay, my bad. But I think Hans Christian Andersen also wrote some stories like that, no? Did he not? I've been wrong before. I don't mind being wrong again. The Grimm Fairy Tales. But the Grimm Fairy Tales are written by Hans Christian Andersen, weren't they? Alexa, tell me about Hans Christian Andersen, the author.
Hans Christian Andersen was a prolific Danish writer, best known for his fairy tales, stories for children. He wrote plays, travelogues, novels, poems, but is most remembered for his contribution to children's literature. His most famous works include The Little Mermaid and The Ugly Ducklings.
Huh. Are you sure it was the Brothers Grimm and not Hans Christian Andersen? I might have my tip. Wow. Well, this totally changes everything I've been saying. Alexa, were Hans Christian Andersen's stories graphic
From
in...
Expo.com. Andersen's Fairy Tales by Hans Christian Andersen is a collection of enchanting short stories that delve into themes of beauty, morality, and the human experience.
Okay, well, I look like a doofus right now, so excuse me. So there is a whimsicalness to Vincent van Gogh. Probably, I mean, either way, it's probably brought about from his stories. But all right, well, we're live, and totally wrong on live streaming. I'm supposed to be an expert. No, anyway. How dare I be wrong on a live stream? This is why I can never be a pundit, a political pundit. Is it's things like this. I'm wrong a lot. I'm wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. But okay. That's why I have Omizu here to correct me. I need to get with the Omizu on getting like an earpiece on me to just like tell me real between Omizu and like Michael Wilbur, I think I could have like the most brilliant paint talk show on the planet, right? Like with Michael Wilbur feeding me brilliant quotes and whimsical teachings, and Omizu giving me all the facts of art and art history accurately. Basically, I could have the best art stream on the entire planet. Really, I could. But that would require me to extract the brains of Michael Wilbur and Omizu and like put them in a jar together and somehow extract their knowledge and plug it into my brain. But I can't do that because I don't think that's legal. So the Brothers Grimm were pre-Christian Hans. You know, Omizu, so I can't do Google right now because I have two phones going and I'm using both my phones. So I'm using both my phones. Which means I'm helpless. I know nothing. Without Google, without Bing, without search engines, I'm basically like the most ignorant person on the entire planet because I use them for everything. I use them to I need Alexa to tell me the time. I need Alexa to like, remind me of basic math. I need Alexa to, make sure that the things that I say are accurate. I'm so dependent on Google and YouTube and stuff for information. Like if I ever get in an argument, or if my girlfriend and I are ever like in a debate about something, like we can't finish the debate without using Google or something just to see which one of us is right. We have to use it. Our relationship depends on it. Otherwise, we can't come to any conclusions about anything. By the way, I am joking a little bit, people. Like, obviously, I can live a life for an hour or two without without, you know, having the facts. But when I was growing up, someone told me you should never explain your jokes, never explain yourself. And I totally break that rule all the time. I am constantly explaining stuff. Yo, what's up, Roshan? How you doing? Got an itch in my nose. I think I got a nose hair that's running loose. So I gotta take care of that. But later, let's go like this. Here we go. I'd like to do a series of copying, what's his name? Egon Schiller's drawings. I want to do that next. I'm going to have to set up for a while because I've already got this set up. It's great. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. This setup, you know, YouTube, Amazon right here. And because I have this setup, I think it's awesome. And, you know, I don't like to change my setup too much because it really does. I mean, there is a lot of thinking that goes involved into getting my live stream set up when I change. Specifically, like if I change from painting to drawing, I have this like phase, and you know, maybe this isn't for everybody, or maybe you might be saying that I'm overthinking it, or whatever. But you know, I didn't stream yesterday, and I don't think I skipped the stream the day before. Did I paint the day before? I can't remember. But I missed the stream because I was overthinking streaming. I was like really overwhelmed. Not really overwhelmed, but like, you know, trying to figure out how I'm gonna set up the two live streams at the same time. And you know, if you're thinking about streaming and things like that, just know. And then you know, I was just thinking to myself, hey, I should just draw without live streaming, which was totally fine. But I have made this a part of my creative process, so it's almost like stream or not. There is no in between. You could say I've almost become dependent on streaming as far as contributing to my creative process, because all these things that I say, all these thoughts, they really are helpful. They're not just like for the sake of entertaining people. They really help guide my creative process because I'm constantly, you know, letting these ideas flow through my head, understanding the thoughts that are in me. And when I'm drawing, when I'm sketching without it, the quality of my thoughts just aren't there because I don't talk to myself. But I don't mind talking on a stream, so I don't talk to myself normally, but I will talk to myself on a live stream. This cat right here wants to see the cat. Who wants to see the kitty? Pookie, she's so big now, this girl. Doesn't everybody remember her when she was tiny? Her nails are so sharp, this one. Right, Pookie? See them? Hmm? You okay? You gonna be shy right now? She's got eyebrows. Look at her eyebrows. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, my baby. My little baby. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Who's my baby? Kitty's my baby. Huh? map. She doesn't let me hold her like this. Usually, she always wants to come out of my arm. It's like, but she knows. It's like she knows we're on camera. All right, you ready to get down? Here you go. Get out of here. It's my workspace. All right. What, Pookie? The one thing that's really hilarious about my cat, by the way, people, is she talks. Like, she communicates. She doesn't just talk. You know, she doesn't just, like, make noises and meow. She actually communicates. Like, when she jumps off a bed and lands, she grunts. And if she jumps up on a table and wants you to know that she's there, she'll, like, make a noise. She is one smart cat. Animals that know how to communicate are amazing. Except, you know, this one scratching up all my stuff. Pookie, what are you doing? Pookie, stop. Stop chewing on wood. By the way, people, if you want something for a cat, I just got to show you something. This is the most adorable thing. I'm going to show my Amazon viewers right now because my YouTube viewers have seen this before. But just look at this. There's a cat under this easel. This easel is the perfect cat easel. Watch this. What is that scratch? Is it a squirrel? What is it? What's this right here? Pookie. Uh-oh. Cancel. Are we still streaming? Yes, we are. Oh, almost lost that stream. So here we go. Pookie is here. Cat is here. Alright, well, she was under there just a moment ago. She was there just a moment ago. But this is the perfect hiding spot for a cat. If you like your cat to be close while you're drawing, my cat likes to hang out underneath this easel here. It's like a perfect spot. And if you want some cute moments between your art practice, this is a perfect tabletop easel. It's a great buy. Get it now while you still can. Because you never know when you're going to want it. Isn't it interesting how we live in a day, in a time now when like nothing will ever be out of stock? Not because like, you know, people don't run out of stock, but like, you know, pretty much everything we can possibly want or have is like almost infinite. Because I'm not saying that we have infinite resources. I'm just saying that like, you know, no one can ever say, oh, for a limited time only, we're going to run out of stock. We only have 100 of these available. Except for art, right? Just commodity items, of course, we're going to have, you know, there's always going to be as many easels. There will always be an easel available to purchase or pencil. But artwork, wow, artwork, totally not infinite. All right, I'm done with this drawing. I don't feel like drawing the buildings. I just wanted to draw the people. These are done with pencil pen. I am just blown away at some of these drawings by Vincent because this looks like a fun drawing. Something really quick, loose, and sketchy. Let me see how Vincent did loose and sketchy. So he would just draw a line, and then another line, and then line, and do line, and then it's gonna come down. And probably made like 3 lines there, and then a bunch of let's see, how do you do it? It's gonna come back a little further. It's gonna come down. So Roshan. What's up, Roshan? Oh, this is a house. I see. And this drawing was done in 1886. All right. It's interesting to note that like a lot of Vincent for early drawings, his early drawings seem even more. His early drawings seem more detailed than his later drawings. Some of them. I'll find something to draw. These city scenes. Wow. Just love flipping through this book and just looking at some of his sketches. His figures are pretty remarkable in here. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these drawings. Oh my goodness, these are great. All right, you know what? I'm gonna call tonight a wrap on this live stream. These drawings like these, if I was to copy them, and I'm not saying like perfect duplication. Usually when I copy Vincent's drawings, so I go through this book called The Drawings of Vincent van Gogh, and when I feel stuck, art-wise, painting-wise, drawing-wise, I try to get through that unstuckness. There's two ways I usually do that. Is either I do something totally abstract, just literally just wasting paint, throwing paint on a canvas, not caring what it turns out like. That's one way. And then another is to just take some artists that I like and just copy whatever it is that they do. And I might do this for like a day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I usually do it until someone like Omizu or Michael start complaining and saying, hey, go back to painting. I want to see some painting. But we'll see. This time I just, yeah, any single one of these drawings, like it would take me hours to do some studies of. But love seeing how Vincent makes his marks. They're phenomenal. These markers, I don't know if they're markers or watercolor. What are these? Yellow house, pencil, reed, pen. What's the details on those? Chalk, brush, oil paint, watercolor on paper. All of those ingredients on one painting. That's amazing. So much to admire. It says chalk, brush, oil paint, watercolor. Chalk, brush, oil paint, watercolor. All right. Well, anyways, I gotta take my break. I gotta reset my brain and go to sleep. Get ready for bed. And we'll be back another day. We will definitely be back. So if you're watching, thank you, and have a great night. Let's end this first. Have a great night. And y'all take care.